Welcome back to the channel. We are in the room of greatness right now. We have our good friend Johnny Wunder. We're testing some golf balls today. Chrome Soft, Chrome Soft X, LS.
And I'm excited because I have a lot to say, as you guys will know, on the golf balls, and it's the most important part of the bag. I am a golf ball first, club second type person, so we have three profiles, and we have the main man going to hit some balls into a wall, and I'm going to show you what these things can do.
Love it. So we're going to test some shorter shots, then we're going to go wedge, 7-iron, and driver. We're going to start with the softest golf ball. Ian, you've played any of the Chrome Soft balls before?
Played the Chrome Soft X when it first came out. Yeah, I liked it. It'd be the ball that fits my profile probably the most. You know, and we'll get into it a little bit. I don't want to kind of spoil the kind of profile of what we do. We'll let it play out. But what I really want to hear, you know, since we have the main man with us, 2022, what was the internal sort of messaging towards you guys, John, in terms of what changed? Because to me, it feels like there's a lot of buzz around the Callaway golf ball right now. I mean, I hear Ram talking about it, and you know, he just loves it. You know, it really fits his shot shape and all wind conditions and things like that.
What you're going to see is we have, you know, the Chrome Soft Red, which is for your widest swath of golfers. It's a lower spin ball, but lower spin left to right, right to left, so it doesn't curve as much. Then you have Chrome Soft X, which is your ROM ball, ton of spin, fast off the driver. Where that changed from the previous version is it's a little bit faster off the tee.
Right.
Other than that, that's it. The LS is the one that's gone through the biggest transformation. So, easiest way I can explain it, it's Chrome Soft X. The cover's the same, everything's basically the same. It just spins about 300 to 400 RPMs less across the bag.
Right.
So, you know, for the players that overspin the ball, if you spin your 7-iron at like 7,400, it'll get you down to 7,000. That's the easiest way to explain it.
You know, maybe the people who cut it up a little bit retain a little bit more of that dynamic loft, and you know, when they hit that cut, maybe they were getting that stalling flight.
Sure.
You know, it kind of goes through the wind now a little bit more than just getting stalled up and fall short.
Well, it's also a little bit more, you know, for the players that do spin it, you know, when it's overspins, it loses stability in the wind, right? You know, the ball's going all over the place, and it's the same thing with a lack of spin. So what they've found with the aero cover and everything they've done with the LS golf ball is, you know, the spin's coming down, but it's still holding its stability. It's still staying in the air, and it's still going to stop when it hits the green.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how you like it around the greens from 50 to 60 yards, because that's going to be the decision maker for a lot of players, is how does it perform around the green. So I'm curious to see what you do there.
Yeah, no, I'm the same, and it's why we do this partial shot, because in a round, all of us play so many of them. The reality is the average golfer plays the most of them because they miss the most greens. So really, guys, when you know, you're paying attention to what golf ball it is that we're testing here, you should be putting a lot of your eggs in the basket of not only what does it do off the tee, what does it do with the wedges? You know, we hit this 50-yarder, we're going to hit a pitch and wedge, we're going to hit a mid-iron. I would say lean into those a lot more than what it does off the tee.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you and I have talked about this quite a bit. On tour, when they're testing golf balls, it's always from the green backwards, literally from what it sounds off the putter to what it does off the tee. So like that's the proper way to test a golf ball.
Sure.
So you know, we're starting in the right place with some wedges. So
love it.
Now, really quickly, Ian, as far as the strike is concerned, like what you feel off of the face, you know, that's a lower, softer compression golf ball. Do you feel that off the face on a shorter shot? Can you, you know, are you hitting it hard enough to feel it or no?
Absolutely, definitely. I find it quite distinctive when we go through like a Left Dash Pro V1X or some of these really firm, you know, high 90s compression golf balls. Yeah, I really get that feedback, and I don't like it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I like something probably in the high 80s, low 90s off the wedge. So that's always the difficulty, and why I quite like a multi-layer, higher layer golf ball, because you are starting to see some differentiation between these partial swings that feel quite nice and soft, and then when you start to compress it a little bit more, you can start to enter different or compress into different layers of the golf ball.
Right.
So the way this feels is very much in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
A little action on that one. 86.
Yeah, anything in the high 8s is high on a 50-yarder for sure. A little bit more on that one.
Yep. And it's going to be interesting to see the difference between the three balls, because, you know, people don't really pay attention all that much to launch angle with a wedge shot, but you do, because it's, you know, with a wedge shot, you have it in your mind where you want this ball to fly out of, right?
Definitely.
And 5 feet is a big deal. So
Yeah,
that's pretty good there.
that was a better strike.
Zip.
Yeah. 31 launch and 86 spin. That's
The
pretty,
launch is very different.
Yeah. Yeah, you were averaging around like 28, 29 with Chrome Soft. This is up a couple degrees.
I'm curious to you guys, what do you hear? Because to me, like I'm feeling something very different. Are you hearing it sound
Well, yeah, I noticed two
acoustically?
things. So it's the sound off of the face to me is a little bit. It sounds like it's staying on the face a little longer. That's what it sounds like to me. And the shot that you hit a couple of shots ago, you hit one thin,
Yeah,
and it still spun at like 8,400.
yeah.
So for a shot that that was good spin with the Chrome Soft, and with this one that was a thin shot. So
Yeah.
you're starting to see, some performance gains there. That's actually pretty
sure.
good.
And that sound of the ball staying on the face, I mean, it could be that, and it's just higher pitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
8, 9. Jeez.
92. I love it.
Sounded nice. I love the launch. The launch difference is interesting.
This should launch higher. That was pretty good there.
Like I feel like I'm starting to hit these pretty hard.
Yeah.
31 at
because I've got so much spin on it. That was pretty
That
good.
was pretty good there,
Yeah,
huh?
definitely.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, eh?
So do you see? I mean, it's hard to see. I mean, on a 50-yard shot because how much hands you're using and
Yeah.
delivery changes obviously. So making something spin a little bit more, you have more control over it with a shorter shot, in my opinion. But the cool thing I see is the launch angles. I mean, from Chrome Soft to Chrome Soft X and LS. I mean, you're launching it almost 3 degrees higher with the LS, which is what you're supposed to do.
That's a huge difference. I've never really seen a golf ball or 2 golf balls in a family have such separation on launch.
Right.
And even the spin is probably not what people would expect to see. That kind of slightly lower spin with the Chrome Soft. So very interesting. I mean, you're probably not surprised to see Chrome Soft X is the highest.
I mean, it's hard to. I mean, if you were hitting 7 irons right now,
Yeah.
I would be a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
For me, it should go Chrome Soft X should probably launch the lowest,
Yeah.
the most spin. Then it should go red. Then LS actually should go the highest,
Right.
in my opinion, from what I've seen. These shots, it's hard to tell. I think
It is,
more
for sure.
importantly for the player is, do you like the sound? Do you like the feel? And is a ball flying out of the window you
Yeah.
see? Because everybody's got a chipping window,
Right.
Right. So, from what I can gather, the Chrome Soft X seem to fly out of the window that you're most used to seeing.
So I always look at, so my kind of magic number, 60-degree wedge here, I'm always looking for half of the loft, the launch being half of the loft in the club. So I actually probably would lean probably the most towards Chrome Soft. I'd like
Something
a
a little
flatter.
lower, yeah.
I like it to be coming out in that, that I call it the player's launch window. Like the amateur launch window tends to be higher because they maybe don't strike it quite as good or slightly higher in the blade. But 29 at 8,500 to me, that's pretty much ideal numbers with the 50-yarder. Okay, let's hit some wedges.
So what's a typical spin for you for a pitching wedge? Some are just south of 9,000 type thing?
I'm okay with it being mid-8s.
Okay.
I'm to be honest, I focus much more on angle of descent
Okay.
than I do on spin.
So anything a little bit north of 50 is pretty good?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my bigger number. I think that's more revealing to the stopping power than the spin. Because like we saw there, I mean, the spin, you can have more spin but a lower launch angle and you have less stopping power, and people attribute spin so much to stopping power when really it's angle of descent that's stopping power.
Right.
The spin dictates what the second half of the flight does.
Right.
So, that for me is kind of ideal right there.
That's a good swing there.
Yeah, I've kind of got a ball speed target as well with a pitch and wedge 110. is what I like to be. So last two at 1.9. So again, I always look at, does the golf ball meet my ball speed target?
Sure.
Is it a little north of it? Is it a little south of it? How does that map towards the launch and spin? Are all those things coming together nicely?
So that one was a little south of 8,000 on spin, but it had a little bit of a draw on it, so that's going to kill the spin a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, last one cut a little bit, didn't it? Just a tiny amount.
Now, one of the cool things about this golf ball for the I don't want to say higher handicappers, for the players that are looking for that extra help, this ball does not move in the air all that much.
Right.
It's the closest thing that we make to a point and shoot golf ball on the Chrome Soft line. So, you know, for a player like you that probably likes to work it big right to left, you know, big left to right sometimes, it's going to be a little harder with this golf ball than it would be for the other ones.
Yeah.
But that's by design, right? It should fly in front of you, hopefully. So this is kind of a ball speed thing, which is also interesting. So that was 111. That was out of the middle. You spun it really well. Like everything looks good. But, you know, on a miss hit, you said you hit that first one out of the heel.
Yeah.
You know, you only lost basically 4 degrees of ball speed.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to the ball speed off of this Chrome Soft X, right? It's the extra ball speed that you're getting even on the miss hits. So losing 3 or 4 miles an hour out of a miss hit is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think one great thing to kind of just quickly touch on as we see it on that particular shot is spin rate went up, peak height went down, right? People not attributing spin to the ball going up. When it comes to the wedges, more spin means we'll drive it down.
Right.
It's more friction. It keeps the ball exiting closer to the loft than the golf club. So launch and spin both come down on a shot like that. And that's a slight fade. So, you know, we would probably expect the flight to be higher, but actually it's came down, which is pretty neat to see. Literally the anti-Mac Boucher. The complete opposite of trying to play the game in as straight lines as possible. Boucher's bending it round trees.
Sounds like you clipped that one pretty well.
Yeah, that was good.
Good ball speed, good spin.
Spin's crazy. 9,200.
So launch went down, spin, wow.
Spins went up a ton. Which is interesting to me because that's what I see from firmer core golf balls with the right cover. Spin goes way up.
Yeah.
And it's the push and pull of the firmer core and the softer. We talked about it a little bit in maybe the Bridgestone video or something like that. We talked about basically how the cover works against the firmer core, but it's a phenomenal example of it right there. I mean, you would look at the carry distance thinking they've got there the same way when they really haven't. They've made quite a different journey.
Yeah, actually substantially different journey. I mean,
Way
1,000
different.
RPMs of spin is
Tons.
that's a ton of spin.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a ball hitting the green and spinning back a couple feet and then skipping
Yeah.
forward and just kind of dribbling out.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, the X to me on that wedge was really high performance. I mean, you would probably look at the performance off the Chrome Soft, and I loved the yardage it was going. I felt like I was hitting it good. The ball speed certainly reflected that, but you know, you would kind of look at that now and go, well, you're in the wrong type of a wedge, or you know, you think something was wrong. Whereas 9180 is kind of probably thinking that that's about bang on.
Well, it's nice to see here from where I'm standing too, because that set of numbers, that's exactly what they're designed to do.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
That's exactly, literally, I mean, give or take 200 or 300 RPMs, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like.
And do you think lots of the consumers out there that aren't really diving in and understanding the marketing and the sort of tech specs on these golf balls still think Chrome Soft is the high spin ball?
I think they're starting, I mean, hopefully I'm doing my job and helping them realize what, you know, the lower spin profile, higher launch, like what it all means to them. Like my dad plays Chrome Soft and he didn't really understand what it meant until I said, hey, look, like you slice the ball. Do you notice that this ball doesn't slice as much as you normally do? And when he's around the greens from 80 or 90 yards, you notice how the ball launches a little higher and holds its line, gives you a better shot of actually holding the green. That's
cool.
So I think they're starting to see it, but until you get your hands on them and try them for yourself, it's really hard to see. You have to go out and
experience
do it yourself.
For sure.
Jumping in the LS.
Now, to me, Chrome Soft X and Chrome Soft XLS, because they have the same cover, now sort of sound the same. I don't know if they feel the same.
Quite similar, yeah. I thought
they
that when I
should
was
feel pretty
pitching with
close.
them, I did feel that they were quite similar.
Good strike.
Right on that 86, isn't it?
Sounded like you hit that one pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. But there's exactly what you said about the launch.
You know, because you sort of have to separate the two, because red does not live in the same type of player that LS and X do, right?
Yeah.
So they should, some of the numbers should be the same, and then some of them should be starkly different. So what you see here, like, I mean, too bad you can't go X and LS right next to each other, but what I see, the 9180 to the 8458 with a wedge, exactly what it's supposed to be. A degree and a half of launch, exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I love how the carry distances are all, super
Yeah.
consistent. Ball speeds are all super consistent. So you're starting to see the nuance between the three designs of the golf ball, which is pretty cool.
Love it. Okay, let's hit some sevens.
That's pretty good there, huh?
That felt pretty good. I think we're going to see a big, big difference through the 7-iron with these golf balls.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hit that good there.
Little Healy.
A wee bit. It was decent. It was just a shade out to the heel. It was probably the best one.
Should be about 4,900, I'd guess. Boy, it's just such a acoustics difference.
Crazy how different it is.
You could even tell on the screen that flew like it had some spin on it. I think the ball
There's-
speeds up.
There's right into our nice 7-iron window.
Yeah, it's like, those are gamer numbers right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Same thing. That was well struck there. Sounded like it anyway.
Close. Almost. System just living a little in the heel with these strikes for some reason. That's by far the best one.
Sounded so good.
That's gonna carry 190. Did I guess it right?
Off by one.
Is that a little skinny?
A wee bit, but yeah, I'm way more comfortable with the feel of these last two.
I mean, the ball speed's up. Sounded okay.
Yeah, that one was good. Okay, so 7-iron kind of as we expected. What would you expect us to see off the driver here?
Ball speeds should be pretty close. I think you're probably going to launch X a little lower. I think LS is going to go a little higher. And red's
Somewhere between the
somewhere
two?
in between as far as launch is concerned. But I'm assuming the XLS for you, from what I've seen so far,
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're going to get some nice numbers with the driver out of
Right.
the LS based on how you kind of deliver it.
That should equalize the launch and spin.
Sounded like a good strike.
I think it was,
A little
Mikey.
higher in the face.
Yeah, I think so. First one was thin, for sure.
It worked, but yeah, it was thin. Low toe.
Wee bit thin again, but fine.
That ball had more spin on it, I can tell you that.
What's that?
That one had more spin on it. Stayed in the air a little longer. So now we're going to go to X.
Yeah.
And what's the difference you should see between these?
I think he's going to get some fun numbers with the LS. Just for, his launch angle and everything. I think it's with a driver, it's probably going to fit his eye pretty well. I'm curious to see what he does with the X and the spin. I just don't know. I can't call out right now exactly what this is going to look like, but that was better.
That's more the think flight you were probably expecting, J-Dub.
So this is a cool thing to watch also, because that was a draw, right? It had enough spin on it to hold it up in the air. See, that draw had nice soft edges to it, didn't it? Like there's no sharp right angles in there. It's like...
Yeah, and that's really, for me, when I miss it in the toe like that, the performance of the driver has got to have more of that to it.
Yeah. It's pretty good there, huh?
Yeah.
Line drive. It's like...
Let's look at the spin on that one. That's not bad.
Yeah, that one was good.
The speed is crazy, the difference.
The speed's crazy. I mean, the spin is a little lower than I thought it was going to be. I thought you'd probably spin the Chrome Soft X off the driver a little bit more than you would red, but, you know, it could be the time of the day. I mean, who knows? But I think you're going to see some fun ball speed numbers with this one.
Good strike there.
That'd have been a good shot at Hilton
Yeah.
Head, Frazzy.
Like if I start losing it a little bit left, that little kind of slight change to setup, just to let me kind of bring it back a little bit, frees me up a little as well.
That was mashed. It sounded like it anyway. Or is that off the heel?
Maybe.
Okay, I mean, interesting off the driver. I think the thing that stands out for me the most is the difference in ball speed with X and XLS versus Chrome Soft. So that's something you would see.
Yeah, I mean, Chrome Soft is a softer, you know, lower compression golf ball at high speeds. You know, this is just my theory, but I just don't think they fly as fast off the driver when you're swinging at high speeds with a softer ball.
Yeah.
Chrome Soft X and Chrome Soft XLS, obviously 4 miles an hour, you can see the consistency of those two balls and their different makeups compared to the Chrome Soft Red. I think the most interesting thing I see here is, and this is why testing golf balls, all of them, is so important, is, you know, Ian spins the Chrome Soft XLS a little bit more than he would Chrome Soft X. Now, is it a rule of thumb that, you know, the Chrome Soft X has to spin more than Chrome Soft X? It's different for every player. You're going to deliver the driver in a different way.
Yep.
It's just interesting, and you start to see the nuances of a player, you know, in the RPMs and the launch, but you can see the consistency. Ball speed's consistent, launch angle's consistent, distance is pretty dang close. You know, it's I don't want to say it's exactly what I expected to see as far as the LS versus X with a driver, but if anything, I would have thought the LS would have spun, you know, south of 2,000, and you probably would have picked up maybe a MPH of ball speed over X. But you know, it's a Monday, and we're we're human beings. So
Well, I mean, if we look at the start line, right? So the start line on Chrome Soft LS is left, and obviously it's finishing to the right. Chrome Soft X is 2 degrees right, and it's finishing online. So the shape is actually probably dictating more of that spin than the ball at that point. So that's user error or just delivery, you know, on my side of things. I think those numbers on spin could quite easily flip in and you'd be bang on. So quite interesting, J-Dub. LS being quicker, even though the face is more open, more delivered loft. I think that's exactly on your point of it. It is quicker. It's the quickest of all the golf balls.
Yeah, it is, and it is on tour too. And we're not talking about 9 miles an hour. We're talking about an
1 or 2,
MPH, right? Which you know, on the launch monitors, it's noticeable by the tour players. But
Definitely.
like you do this perfectly in all your videos, Ian. I mean, it's always the combination of spin and launch. It's not just ball speed. It's the whole stew, right? And
the package, yeah.
There's some interesting stuff going on here, but I'm proud our golf balls did exactly what,
Yeah.
you know, even 98% of what I have been saying they're going to do, they did. So it's nice to know that Callaway golf balls in Canada do the same thing they do in the States.
I love to see these tests play out this way, and sometimes it throws the odd curveball at us, and we go, wow, didn't really expect to see that. There was maybe a couple of those. I think the 2 curveballs that I saw were both actually with Chrome Soft, in that the speed dropping as much as it did with the driver for a higher swing speed player, and the launch angle off the 60. Like, those are 2 things that really picking up on. It's like, wow, you know, that's quite a jump or kind of, you know, departure from where the others are. Chrome Soft X would go in my bag though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, based on everything we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, if we pop up the 7-iron, I just want to touch on that one more time, because I just think I was the most impressed across the board. I mean, we had Quickest numbers with the LS 129, but that spin window was really, really nice with the 8X.
Yeah, and it's just those are 7 irons you can control on the golf course. You got to remember, we're going to have to go out on the golf course and play these things too. So I mean, if it's summertime and you're on a heater, that Chrome Soft X is going to stay in your hand a lot longer than the LS will, or the Chrome Soft or the Chrome Soft Red. So this is a cool experiment. I love doing this stuff. So
Yeah, validation for sure, boys. I think that's the thing. And Callaway have been bullish, haven't they? Coming back and saying, okay, put our golf ball against anything now. We're happy for you to do that now. We believe that the infrastructure placed now, in the ball plan, in from the material, or sourcing of materials and stuff, you wouldn't really be taking a backseat to anyone right now on the golf ball front.
No, I wish we did more of that. I mean, I'll speak candidly. I wish that the world was a situation where you go, look, let's go do the taste test of golf balls, because I think we would at Callaway would be very proud of how far we've come.
J-Dub, thank you, my friend. That was a cool video. I guess the biggest thing for all of us to take from this is obviously, you got to get fit for a golf ball. Understand what your golf ball is doing for you. Like you said in the beginning, you start from the golf ball first and then work your way through the bag. It's the most important. It's something that, I've been through a long time ago, and it made a huge difference for me. So hopefully, viewers can understand that, if you know the golf ball that you're playing, it can only help you shoot lower numbers.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one tip you can take away from the tour is the importance that they do put on the golf ball. The golf ball is the most important thing in their bag. They know it, and that's one nugget from the tour that you can take, to your Saturday game with your boys, is that you can have that same kind of onus over your golf ball. It's important. So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.